You got a business and you know that it would be awesome if you had an email list full of people that wanted to buy your products. But it's not that easy, is it? Well, I'm about to show you the easy way to build an email list full of customers that want to buy your stuff using Facebook and a simple piece of software. Oh, and by the way, you don't even have to have a website to do this. All right, let's do it. What if building an email list wasn't so darn complicated? What if you didn't have to have a website and you could just run a Facebook ad to a piece of content that somebody else wrote and you could build your email list that way? Well, what I'm about to show you is just that. So a little while back, I cut a very special webinar for some folks that I'm very close to, and I showed them exactly how to build an email list using Facebook and a special piece of software. So what we're going to do is we're going to dive in. I'm going to walk you through that exact process, and you can see exactly how you can start building your email list, no matter what business you happen to be in, using other people's content, Facebook, and a cool little tool that's not all that expensive. All right, let's dive in. Let me show you how this works. Hey everybody, Dr. Ben Atkins here, and I am excited today because I get to talk about one of my favorite topics on the planet, and that is list building. And you might say, well, Ben, you seem to like a lot of this internet marketing stuff. Why is list building one of your favorite topics? And I have to say, it's pretty much the one that across the board for myself, for my clients, for anybody that I consult with, this is pretty much the number one way that I help people make income. All right. So this one leads to all the other things, all of the recurring revenue, all of the, the clients with, brick and mortar businesses, with their online businesses, with my online business, selling digital products, selling physical products, all the stuff that I've done over the years that's been successful. It all sort of starts with two key things. And that's number one, building the list and making sure that list is actually quality targeted subscribers. But number two, actually sending stuff out to the list in a way that they, buy, and they are very happy with their decision so that they buy again. So today I'm going to address something that I think is very, very important. And it's the whole process of how do you build a list without going broke? And I think a lot of people out there, and I'm going to ask you a few questions here in a bit about this, but a lot of people out there, when they first get started with list building, they don't know how to do it without spending way too much money or way too much time. And a lot of folks give up before they actually get to the goal of having a list that's a decent size that they can actually do something with. So real quick before we get started, let's just talk about this. What I'm going to be going through today, and when I get started here in about 3 seconds, is I'm going to be talking about a way to build a list that's a lot cheaper to build, but also it goes a lot faster. And for those of you that do what we're going to talk about today, and you dial this process in, I promise that you're going to have a ton of success with it. But you've got to actually go through the process. You got to dial it in. I'm going to show you the process. I'm going to show you how I dial it in, but you have to actually go through and do it yourself. You have to put in the work. Before I get started, does everybody understand the disclaimer? This is not one of those things where you're just going to go do it and money's going to fall into your lap. You've got to put in the work, but I'm going to show you how to put in the work today. Everybody good? Awesome. All right, cool. Let's dive in. Let's get started. I got a couple questions before we get started, just because I want to make sure that I get to know sort of why you're here. How many folks here have an email list that is at least 1,000 subscribers? Has at least 1,000 subscribers on it? Type yes if you do. Type no if you don't have one that big. Either way is the right answer. Don't worry. There's no wrong answer here. I just want to know. So we've got just coming in just to give you guys an example of what's coming through right now. We've got about, I would say, 10 to 15% that absolutely have a list that size. Everybody else has not one that big. So that's okay. This is going to be something that really fits for everybody. Trust me. And don't worry where you happen to be sitting with that. This is going to help you. So if the answer was no for you right now, let me ask you a quick question, and just a short, quick answer. Why haven't you built an email list yet? Was it cost? Was it the time involved? Or did you think maybe that there's another better spend of your time? What was it that sort of kept you from doing that? And just let me know sort of what it is. So I'm getting answers starting to come in. Cost was a big one, okay? Time, the time to actually put it in there. We're getting some really fun answers too, some things that are outside of the box. But the vast majority of what we're seeing is that, hey, it's time or money.
okay? Time or money, or in another one that we've got in here is I just didn't know how to do it. I didn't know how to do it. Some people, and this is probably the fourth most common answer that I got just now, was I wasn't aware of how important it actually was. Okay, and I trust me, I used to be there. But when I really started focusing on this stuff, I understood how important it was to everything that I was doing, from building an agency where I was helping clients, from selling online products. Yeah. Okay, so whether you answered yes or no, who here would like a faster and more effective cost-effective way to actually build a targeted email list? I don't think I have to even ask for answers there. You wouldn't be here if that wasn't something that you wanted. So let me ask just one more. When I'm done showing you how to build a list, who here would like to learn how to effectively monetize it too? Sort of the way that we do things. Is that something you guys are also interested in? Also interested in learning how to do that? Okay, cool. So I think we're all on the same page. We're all a bunch of list building nerds or wannabe list building nerds, and we're going to have a good time today. So real quick before I get started, just about everybody here knows who I am, but just in case you don't, this is something that you should know about me. I am absolutely not the smartest business person or marketer on the planet. I can raise my hand and say that with absolute certainty. Over the last probably 7 years or so, though, I have consistently built targeted email lists and sold products to the folks on those lists. And I tell you guys, the funny thing about it is you don't have to do everything right with running a business. If you are building lists of prospects and sending out offers to those prospects, you can screw up a ton of stuff and you can still be okay. And I think that's the point that I want you guys to get across is, man, you don't have to do it in a way that is perfect. You don't have to run your business perfectly if you just do a couple key things right. And let me tell you, the thing that I have been really good at, and I want to show you guys how to do, is how to do this list building and monetization thing. So let's talk about what we're going to learn today. Okay, so just real quick, what's this next hour going to look like? Part one is going to be how to get 1,000 targeted email subscribers in 60 days. So I'm going to sort of give you an over the top of how that works and the math behind it. Part two, how to find viral ready content to build your list. So this is very much going to be a content marketing thing that we use to build our list. But the beautiful part about it is you don't have to write any content. So that's going to be a very, very good thing for us. Part three, how to prove that content will get you clicks. We want to make sure that the content that we're looking for that's already gone viral is going to be something that's actually going to work for us in the long term. And I'll show you how to do that. Part four, how to turn on your viral opt-in. So we're going to be using content as bait, but all of a sudden we're going to click a button and boom, we're going to have an opt-in page come down over the top of the things that we've already had out there and we've been testing. Okay, part five, we're going to talk about how we can turn those 1,000 subscribers into income, and we're going to be rocking it out. So without any further ado, because I'm into actually getting to teaching this stuff today, not talking about it, who's ready to learn how to kick a little ass and make money with email marketing today? Good, awesome. So everybody's pumped. So without any further ado, I'm going to jump in and I'm going to start explaining some stuff. And do me a real big favor here. If you need me to stop and explain something a little further, please let me know, because some of this stuff is stuff that nobody's ever done before in here. I understand that you may have never done this stuff. Some of you may have done some stuff like it, but you want some clarification. So make sure you ask questions as we go. Think of this more as us getting together and talking about nerdy stuff than me sitting here giving a presentation, because that's not what it's about. So make sure you ask questions. I'll make sure that I get them answered. If no other reason, I will make sure I get them answered by the end. Okay, so let's dive in. Let's get started. Let's talk about part one, how to get 1,000 targeted email subscribers in 60 days. Okay, so before we talk about that, you gotta really think, why in the hell would you want 1,000 email subscribers? Like what's the big thing about 1,000 email subscribers? Why is that the number that I seem to be so fixated on with this? Well, you don't just want 1,000 random people on your email list. A big list doesn't mean anything. You want 1,000 folks that are trying to solve a problem and they're extremely passionate about solving that problem as quickly as possible. That's a big deal. You got to have folks on your list that actually mean something, okay? That actually want to solve a problem. Because listen, I can build lists all day of people that don't end up making me income. So we have to be very careful that we go after the right kinds of people. And we'll make sure we talk about that. Assuming that we get those kinds of people, let's do some math behind this, okay? So this is, when I first started, I didn't understand this math, and so I got frustrated. And I almost quit a couple times. Thank the good Lord that I didn't. But I almost quit a couple times because I didn't understand the math behind this, okay? Now, this is assuming that you're not a amazing copywriter, okay? Because I wasn't when I started building my list. So let's say that we got 50 people on an email list. How many of you have 50 people on an email list? How many of you have 50? From going out, getting prospects, putting them on a list. Okay, so we have some folks that have at least 50. That's good. So here's the thing. You send out an email with you're pitching a product. Let's say it's a $100 program, whether that be recurring or one time. And you're going to send out a $100 program that fills a major need for them. So we've got, let's say, a really targeted list. You're filling a need for them. 10% of the people that you send this to, because they're slammed in their inbox, not because you did anything wrong necessarily, but because their inbox is slammed, 10% of the people are actually going to open that email. That gives you about 5 opens out of 50. Maybe you're doing better than that, by the way. Maybe you're getting a lot more opens than that. Awesome. But let's just say that you're not. All right. So 5 opens, 5% of those people sign up, which is about standard. If you got something that's a good fit. That's 0 sales. I mean, that's a percentage of a sale, but you guys get where I'm going with this, right? You might luck out and sneak out a sale here and there, but you really just don't have enough people here to put the odds in your favor and tip the scale. Does everybody understand with 50 subscribers and that low amount of subscribers, you really just don't have enough to tip the scale? Give me a yes if that makes sense to you so far. And I'll move on. Let's go up to 100. Same thing, 100 people, targeted, $100 program, 10%, open the email, that's 10 opens. 5% of those sign up. Out of those 10 opens, 5%, it's just not enough. It's not enough to tip the balance your way. So the thing you got to realize is yes, you may have started to build a list before. You may have sent out some emails to them, but you may have seen that, oh crap, I'm just not getting any results. And it may not have been that you did anything wrong necessarily in the beginning. It may have been that you just didn't have a big enough audience to start tipping the balance in your favor. That's what I really started discovering. It's not necessarily about the great copywriting in the beginning. It's just, do you have enough to tip the balance? Because let me ask you guys a question. Do you think I was a great email writer when I first started email marketing? Who thinks that I was? I would love to tell you that I came out of the womb writing great emails. That's just not the way that it was. If I could show you these, it would be the most embarrassing thing in the world. I would love to say that even I was okay at it, guys. I was not. I have worked to get good at these. But so let me just tell you, when I was sending this stuff out, it didn't start happening for me and most of the people that I talk to. It doesn't start happening until you get to this next slide. And this next slide is where things get interesting. You send out 1,000 emails to these folks because you get 1,000 people on your email list, and you send an email out to 1,000 targeted subscribers telling them about a $100 program that you have. Same $100 program, fills a need for them. 10% open the email. It's 100 opens. And 5% of those 100 sign up. That's 5 sales. So all of a sudden, how many of you start to realize that it's less about how skilled you are in the beginning, and it's more about the math? It's absolutely more about the math. It's the numbers. Now, let me ask you guys something. Can you get better from here by learning better ways to write emails, better ways to write campaigns, things like that? Can you get better and up those percentages? Absolutely. But in the beginning, you can absolutely make money just if you have the numbers, right? So let's talk about this. Let's talk about how folks actually build these lists, because I think that's important. So here's the standard model of how folks do it if they've got a lot of money to spend. All right, if you have a lot of money to spend fast, or you can be really patient, this is how most folks do it. We've got an opt-in page with a really good offer that's targeted to that folks. We run a Facebook ad and we point it to that opt-in page. This is what typically happens. A small percentage of people that click on that link are going to opt in. A larger percentage doesn't, okay? And they're gone for good typically. No one is going to share your opt-in page. No one is going to share your opt-in page. Do you guys believe me? You may get the occasional share. You may get the occasional share, but opt-in pages are not the kinds of things that we share. Why is that? Why do we not share opt-in pages, guys? Why do we not share opt-in pages? Can you tell me? Let's ask a better question. Let's ask a better question while we're on this slide. Why do we share anything? Why do we share anything? Why do we share blog posts? Think about this. Think about this. We share really good content because of what it says about us. It's not always about sharing value. It's about what it says about us. You guys agree? You guys agree? We share things online because of what it says about us. So if we see something that we think is smart, we'll share it because we think it makes us look smart. Give me a yes if you agree with that statement. This was the big aha moment for me a couple years ago, by the way. People don't share things to necessarily add value or be helpful. People normally share things because of how it makes them look. It makes them look kind. It makes them look funny. It makes them look smart. It makes them look a way that they want to be seen. Keep that in your head. That is extremely important. So here's the thing. They're not going to share opt-in pages because there's no social value that moves forward when you share an opt-in page. It just doesn't make any sense. Sharing an opt-in page with your friends doesn't do one of those things. It doesn't tell your friends that you are one of those things. It just tells your friends maybe you're a shill and not that bright, right? Now, I've shared opt-in pages before, so I don't know what that says about me, but there you go. Now, here's the thing. With an opt-in page, because there's no viral shares, no activity there, when you stop spending on ads, it usually stops getting traffic. Pure, plain, and simple. Would you like to see a better way? Would you like to see a better way to do it? Okay. Now I'm going to warn you. The way that I'm about to show you takes a little more work than I'm willing to put in on a daily basis. And trust me when I say this is going to be a much better way to do it, but it's going to take a little more work than I'd like for you to do on a daily basis. But it's better. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. Along the way, because of what I was doing in my own business, I discovered this. Running a Facebook ad to an interesting blog post, and we had an opt-in drop down over that blog post after 20, 30 seconds because they'd been engaged in the article, and it had a really good thing. I wrote a blog post, put an ad to it, had an opt-in come down over it with a good offer. It worked a lot better. It was a lot cheaper. Does everybody know why that's a lot cheaper ad cost? Why do you think? Why do you think? Engagement. Because people share good stuff, they comment on good stuff, the engagement goes up, which means your ad cost goes down. That's just the way that Facebook works and the algorithm works. So here's what happens in this situation. A small percentage will opt in. People share the article if it's good. When you stop spending money on ads, it keeps getting traffic. Let me put a big exclamation point on that. When you stop spending money on ads, it keeps getting traffic because the links keep getting shared further and further. If you do keep spending, the ad cost goes down because people are sharing and the engagement goes up. Does this make sense to everybody why this is a little bit of a better model? Now, once again, this still kind of sucks because you have to write good content, which can take a while, especially if you don't know how to do that for sure. So the problem with this way is you have to write good content. You have to write good content. Would you like to see an easier way? Would you like to see an easier way? This is the way that once I figured this out, things got interesting. Things got really interesting. So let's dive through this. So this is the method that's very interesting to me. And this is the method that's been really rocking for us. Same sort of concept. Instead of me writing the article, I'm using someone else's article that's already proven to test the concept. So I'm looking for articles that are already going viral. I don't have to write anything from scratch. And I'm using that and I'm dropping something down over the top of it. Now here's what happens in this situation. You get lots of shares. You get lots of opt-in drop-down displays. You get lots of opt-ins fast. You get cheap long-term paid traffic because of engagement. You get tons of free traffic because of viral sharing. And here's the cool thing. We can test this fast because it takes minutes to set up instead of having to write an article. And let me ask you a question. If you prove a certain kind of article does well, what can you eventually go do if you want to? Well, you can eventually go write the article yourself if you wanted to. But what's so great here is we can test a opt-in concept, a piece of content in minutes rather than having to write for a week, run an ad, and then see if it fails or see if it goes. Does everybody understand the difference between this and everything we've shown beforehand? Each of those models. Give me a yes if so, and I'm going to keep going. Okay. So let's talk about how this works. Would you like for me to walk you through how to set one of these pages up, how to test this, and how to go through the entire process to get this to work in a way that's going to be very, very beneficial to you? Okay. All right. Here's the only thing I'm going to say about this. I don't want to waste any of my time or yours. Can you promise me that if you're sitting here right now listening to me teach this, you're going to take action on this when I'm done? If not, just leave. If this is a hobby thing for you, leave it to the folks that are action takers. But okay, good. Lots of yeses. Good. You promised. Remember, you promised. When we get to the end of this, you're going to jump off this call and you're going to go do this. Okay, good. Okay, so first, before we get into, testing anything with ads or spending any money, we got to find content that's been proven with our audience. Period. I don't want to guess anymore. I want to go out and find stuff that is already proven and go viral. That takes us to part 2. How to find viral ready content to build your list. Okay, so first, how this is sort of going to go, I'm going to give you a step of the overview, and then I'm going to walk you through the step-by-step of how this works. Okay? So here's the overview of the steps we are going to take. Step 1, it's a 3-step process. Step 1, we're going to use Facebook's Audience Insight to dig into the group that you're after. Okay, now how we're going to dig into this group, I'm going to show you this in a second. We're going to use education, like the schools they went to, magazines, organizations that they belong to, places that they work at. We're going to use all of those things to target them and to learn more about them. Okay? We're going to dig into this and find, with this sort of audience insights thing, we're going to find websites that are publishing great content. We're going to plug the content sources that we find into a system called BuzzSumo. If you know about that, awesome. If you don't know about that, I'll show you. And step 3, we're going to make a list of the most shared content, at least 5 articles. At least from a 10,000 foot view, does everybody understand where I'm going with this? Give me a yes. If you don't understand the specifics yet, don't worry. But give me a yes if you understand at least the 10,000 foot view. Okay, we're 10,000 feet up. Let's dive down and let's actually take a closer look at each one of these steps. So Facebook Audience Insights. Okay, so when you jump into your ad manager, you do an Audience Insights. This is sort of where we're going. So what I'm going to do in this example is I'm going to take in, I have an agency, right? Now, listen, this works for just about anything you can think of, but I have an agency that targets chiropractors, all right? And we like to help chiropractors. We like to get paid by chiropractors. We like to help chiropractors get business. But we want to get in front of more chiropractors. So what I'm doing is I know typically that my clients that I already have are between the ages of 30 and 50. And male, female, we have a good healthy mix. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Audience Insights, and in the interest section, I'm going to put in the education, the magazines that they read, the organizations they belong to. So in this, I've got the American Chiropractic Association. I've got Chiro Economics, which is a magazine. I've got Chiropractor, just the job. We've got 3 schools, and that gives us a sample of about 42,000 people that we can go after. Does everybody understand what I'm doing so far? I'm just building a group of people so that I can learn more about them. So the people that have raised their hand and said, yes, I'm interested in the American Chiropractic Association, Chiropractic Economics, all those things, that's where we start. We want a decent sized thing here. So all I did here was, does everybody see right here down at the bottom below these interests where it says interest? That's where you type in your stuff, like chiropractic college, and it'll give you suggestions based on what you start to type in. And that's how I filled this list up for those of you that have never used this before. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do, can everybody see right now we're seeing the demographics? Can everybody see this little section that says page likes? Give me a yes if you can see page likes. Okay, good. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to click this. So now I have gotten rid of all the other people, and I've just got the people in here that are interested in the topics that we typed in. But now we want to see what else those people are interested in. So we click page likes and it takes us to this page. Now what I'm typically looking for, you can pull things from all of these categories, but what I'm typically looking for is news and media websites, media, anything that's really locking in where I think they're going to be publishing content. Okay, now if you find someone like a chiropractor here or an entrepreneur, they'll probably publish content too, but I'm looking for typically some sort of media. Okay, some sort of media. So now you aren't looking at demographics anymore, you're looking at page likes. So now I've found a couple of places. So Chiro Economics, Audible. I don't think Audible is going to be one that I'm going to go after. News and media down here, Chiro Sushi, Chiro Trust, Mind Body Green. So what I do from here is I click on them, I go to their Facebook page, I see if they're sharing any of their own content on their Facebook page, then I go to their website and find out what the URL is. Once I find the URL, I'm going to jump over to this site called BuzzSumo. For those of you that don't know, BuzzSumo, you can type in a URL and BuzzSumo will show you the most viral content that has come from that site. So let me ask you something. With this Chiro Trust, do I have some content that's done well? Do I have some content that's done well with our particular audience? What do you guys think? Yeah, right out of the gate, Chiro Trust has some stuff. Now, I have several different websites I can go to from that list that I showed you from Facebook, but just with this one, I've got some content that's been proven to get shares amongst my audience. Okay, so step 3, like literally, guys, I'm taking the URLs for those articles that we just saw that have gone viral, and that's what each of those was, by the way, here. It was just an article that's gone, pretty viral with the audience. I literally take the URLs of those, I open them up in a new tab, grab the URL, and I start making a list of content that has already gone viral with my audience. So far, so good. Who understands what we're doing to find the kind of content that's already proven with the audience we're after? Give me a yes if so, and I'll just keep moving. Like I said, I want to move as fast as possible, but I don't want to leave anybody behind. Okay, perfect. So I've got all this stuff that now I know is proven to work content. So where did I find Chiro Trust? Let me go back real quick. Hang on, we'll go back. Do you see here where it says Chiro Trust down here at the bottom under the news and media back in the Facebook step? That's where I got it. So I found Chiro Trust, Chiro Sushi, Chiro Economics. That's where I found it. Then I plugged it into BuzzSumo. I plugged all those into BuzzSumo, by the way. And then I started building the list of the stuff that was popular and was getting shares amongst my audience. Okay, it's proven. It's proven. So now that we've got that, now that we've actually got that, what the heck do we do with it? So what do we do with the list of most shared content? Okay, this is where things start to get fun. Part 3. Part 3. How to prove that content gets you clicks. We don't build an ad around it yet. A lot of good guesses that we build an ad around it, but we don't build an ad around it yet. We've got to do a couple things before it so that all of the money you spend to prove this is actually benefiting you. Because if you just run ads to this content, you're going to learn if it goes viral, but you're not getting any benefit yet. I want you to get benefit right away, so we're not losing any money. I am a tightwad when it comes to list building. Let me tell you, I don't want to lose any money, even to prove content, okay? So here's what we do next. We're going to prove that this content gets us clicks, but we're going to prove it in a way that benefits us. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to create a pass-through smart link. I use an app called Birdsong that we built for this because we were getting results with it. So we needed an app that did some things that none of the others did. But you're going to use a smart link. Inside of this smart link, the smart link does some key things. It has a pixel inside so you can build a custom audience the entire time that you're doing this. But it also does some really key things. So I'm going to go through those things here in a second. Step number 2, we're going to run a test ad for that content to your core audience for $5 to $10 a day just to get it started out of the gate. Step number 3, we're going to see which ones get taken off. Maybe it'll just be one, maybe it'll be multiple things, but we're going to see what gets taken off. From a 10,000 foot view, who understands the 3 steps of this section before I dig deeper? Good? Awesome. Good pace for everybody? Everybody hanging on and getting it, but not wasting any time? Good. Okay, awesome. So we're at 10,000 feet. Let's dive down and look at each of these steps now. So remember, we got this list of links, okay? We've got this list of links. And now we're going to build smart links. So as I said, we use an app that we built called Birdsong. So Birdsong, we've been updating it and updating it and updating it, and we've got some cool things in, but this is basically how this works. What you're going to do, can everybody see where the first little goofy little arrow is over here on the left side of your screen? Can everybody see that? Give me a yes if you can see that first little pink arrow over there. Now what we're doing here is there's a little tab there that says overlay, and we're going to build an overlay. But when we build this overlay, this new overlay, we're not going to actually overlay anything over the top of the content. We are going to do a pass-through. We're going to do a pass-through. Now, what a pass-through is a pass-through is a temporary in-between web page where a couple key things are going to go on behind the scenes, but we're still going to pass them over to the content. Now, what goes on behind the scenes? Well, we're going to add our Facebook pixel so that we can be building a custom audience the entire time. And we can further refine our audience down the road with using custom audiences, using lookalike audiences, all that. You don't have to worry about that right now, but let me just tell you, by me telling you to do this, I'm setting you up for long-term success, okay? So far we're gonna make a link. This is just like you building a short link, but we're gonna do it in a smarter way than the normal short links are built, and you're gonna see why here in a couple minutes. So we've got this, we're building a pass-through, and what we're gonna do is once we get the pass-through done, all of the links that we've got from that list, all of the links that we have from the list that we built earlier are going to use this pass-through, the same pass-through. Now that may not make a lot of sense to you yet. Keep watching. Now that we've built our pass-through overlay, we want to use that overlay with all of the links that we put on the list. So here's what we're going to do next. Here's my list of all of those links that I found that are proven to go viral, and I'm going to start building links. And can everybody see the pink box here? Can everybody see the pink overlay box on the screen? Give me a yes if you can see that. What we're going to do is we're going to select the overlay that we built before. So all of those links are still going to be using the same overlay. We're building a link, we're building a bunch of different links, but they all use the same overlay, which is going to be a pass-through link. Okay? So now that we're done with this, we're going to have several links that we can go out and run ads to. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to run over to Facebook and I'm going to run a test ad. Now notice, these are the same folks. These are the same folks. These are the same folks that we are going to be targeting when we were in Audience Insights. Does everybody recognize these audiences from before? Does everybody recognize these audiences from when we were doing Audience Insights? So basically, we're taking content that's been proven with this audience and we're putting it back in front of that audience. Super simple. Here's what's so cool. Even though we're masking the link and we've built this pass-through link, it's going to look exactly like what it did when we put it in there. So I just pop that link in, Facebook grabs the picture, and now it's going to put that article out into an ad to those people. Can everybody understand what I've done so far? Can everybody understand what I've done so far? We took our links, we masked them behind something that we can get some data. We're good from there. All right, perfect. Now, at this point, there is no overlay, there's no opt-in page, there's nothing that we have to write copy for right now. All we're doing is testing the content to make sure it goes. But we are building a custom audience in the background the whole time, which is kind of nice. Plus, we get some extra stats because they're clicking through our links. Now, from here, yes, there is a way to change the domain preview if you want to, but keep in mind that was the image that went viral before, so you may not want to change it, okay? Now from here, we're just going to see of those posts, we're going to see which of those goes viral for us. Does everybody understand what I'm looking for? So when you look at your ad count, you're going to start looking for the post that the ad spend is way down because it's getting lots of clicks and lots of engagement. You're going to look through the post that gets lots of shares. You're going to look for the post that's starting to go viral. Now, you may have 5 links up there and one of them goes viral for you. You may have 3 that go viral for you, but the key is you're trying to eliminate the stuff that doesn't work and you're trying to find the stuff that does work. Everybody good so far? Okay, now let's get to the fun stuff. Now that we have content going viral, how do we actually use this to build our list? Now, so far what we've done, just to recap, we've put an ad in front of chiropractors. You don't have to put it in front of chiropractors. This was just the example. We've put an ad in front of chiropractors for content that they already liked. We're just trying to get them to start sharing it again, okay? We're testing to see if that goes out there. Now, I want to start building a list of chiropractors so I can actually try to sell chiropractors a product. Everybody good? So now that we've proven this content goes good, we've thrown out the ones that don't do good, we've got content that goes viral. Here's what sucks for most people. Most people would have to go back, start a new ad, restart everything, put an opt-in together, write their own article or whatever. We're not going to do that. We're going to go much faster than that. We're going to flick a switch. We're going to flick a switch and we're going to turn on our viral opt-in on the ads that we've already started running. Okay? The ads that we've already started running, we're going to flick a switch and turn it on. So get ready. You ready? Everybody give me I'm ready to start seeing how this works so that I make sure that we don't miss anybody. I don't want to have to go back. Give me a ready in the box so I can show you how this works. Okay, cool. So we've got content that's out there. We want to be able to flick a switch and turn on an opt-in page. Here's how you do it. You're going to go back into the Birdsong software. You're going to go back into that overlay that you built in the last section. And we're just going to go to overlay type and change it from a pass-through to an email full screen. And what that allows us to do is of all the links that are already out there, already have ads running to them, they're going to change from a pass-through link automatically to a link that has an overlay that will pop down over a certain number of seconds. So we don't have to change anything. We don't have to do new links. We literally flick a switch, put it together an opt-in page, and it turns on. Would you guys like to sort of see how that works? Okay, watch your screen. Here's the article. They're reading it. Pops down over the top. All you have to do with this whole setup is pretty simple. You have to flick the switch, you have to turn on your opt-in page, and then you're going to get the same link that you already had on Facebook, already proven to go viral. Even if it's 10 links that you've had out there that are going viral, you flip that switch, you put on the opt-in page, and all of those links are instantly going to have this opt-in page work for them. So this is what we've done. And make sure you're watching. What we've done is simple. We've now got content that our folks will love and share. Our opt-in page, now that it's over the top of that content, gets shared with it, and our list building goes viral. Here's the other cool thing. We've been building a custom audience the entire time, and we can use it to build lookalike audiences, whatever we want. We're getting ad clicks for an insanely low amount comparatively to what we would because the engagement of this content goes way up, which means our ad cost goes down if you know how the Facebook algorithm works. Here's the cool thing. You can tweak your opt-in offer on the fly. So if you turn on that opt-in and they're not biting, you can change the opt-in. You can change the opt-in on the fly to all the pages at once. And what happens is you've got a brand new opt-in that leads somewhere else without having to run new ads, without having to change anything, and the link instantly appears. Once we have an article or anything that works, you can always write your own version, but why when you can do it this way?
All right, so I hope you dug it. That's exactly how I'm able to build an email list very easily. from my backpack as I'm traveling around. They don't have to set up a lot of stuff, but we can easily start building an email list and then sell our products to that group of people. So if you dug this, make sure you click the subscribe button below, hit that little bell notification. What that's going to do is it makes it easy to get alerted every time I put something new out, which hopefully you're digging this and you want to do that. So I enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it. I will see you next time.